Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, back at it again with another Minecraft video, and today we're going to take a look at my Columbia supplements. So in addition to my Stanford supplements, I also got a lot of requests for my Columbia and Brown supplements. So today we're going to take a look at my Columbia supplements. There are 6 supplements, 4 of which are listing things and 2 of which are longer form essays. List a few words or phrases that describe your ideal college community. 150 words. Energizes me to leap out of bed every day. Doors wide open, embracing people from all walks of life. Fostering strong relationships on and beyond campus. Awe-inspiring people whose stories I can learn from, students and faculty alike. An abundance of fighting dreamers. Purposefully active in politics and global affairs. Opportunities to learn and practice new languages. Always has something interesting and meaningful to do, even on cold winter days. Limitless options for food. Good pizza and boba are a must. Learning that goes beyond the classroom, challenging my thoughts and perceptions. Expanding horizons, guiding me to a place further than the universe. Indomitable spirit and unabashed passion. A passionate, lifelong barcada I can call a second home. Does epic things. From my understanding, this prompt is the Why Us essay disguised as a describe your ideal college community essay. Because when you describe your ideal college community, the hope is that you are also describing Columbia at the same time, since this is an application to Columbia. And so for this prompt, I just listed phrases of things that I was looking for in a college community that I knew that Columbia would have. I also tried adding a little more personality than just listing phrases. For example, I have an abundance of fighting dreamers. The phrase fighting dreamers is a reference to that one Naruto opening. We are fighting dreamers. And then we have expanding horizons, guiding me to a place further than the universe, which is a reference to the anime, A Place Further Than the Universe. But I think that the phrases I used were a lot more memorable than just listing adjectives. So yeah. Alright, moving on. List the titles of the required readings from courses during the school year or summer that you enjoyed most in the past year. 150 words. A People's History of the United States, Howard Zinn. Interpreter of Maladies, Jhumpa Lahiri. 50 Psychology Classics, Tom Butler Bowden. Invictus, William Ernest Henley. Canterbury Tales, Chaucer. Sailing to Byzantium and The Second Coming, William Butler Yeats. Quite Frankly, Mark Halliday. Frankenstein, Mary Shelley. The Ballot or the Bullet, Malcolm X. Hamlet, Shakespeare. A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, James Joyce. The Importance of Being Earnest, Oscar Wilde. Korean Grammar in Use, Beginning, various. Welcome to Korean, Nisley Y. Native American Creation Stories, various. The Dream of a Ridiculous Man, Fyodor Dostoevsky. Tales of Amadou Kumba, Virago Diop. A Scandal in Bohemia, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Goodbye to Berlin, Christopher Isherwood. Remembering America, A Voice from the 60s, Richard Goodwin. The Fall of the House of Usher, Edgar Allan Poe. Rip Van Winkle, Washington Irving. Jabberwocky, Lewis Carroll. And so when it says last year, my understanding was that I could include things from second semester of junior year, the summer after junior year, and first semester of senior year. And so these are all the things that I read and enjoyed. A lot of them are poems and short stories. And yeah, there's not much for me to say there because everyone's going to be reading different books. But yeah, let's move on. List the titles of the books you read for pleasure that you enjoyed most in the past year. 150 words. The 13 and a Half Lives of Captain Blue Bear, Walter Moores. Eleanor and Park, Rainbow Rowell. The Bride Test, Helen Hoang. The Kiss Quotient, Helen Hoang. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F, Mark Manson. Comparative Grammar of Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, and French, Mikhail Petruin, currently reading. The Prince, Niccolo Machiavelli. Astrophysics for People in a Hurry, Neil deGrasse Tyson. What If, Randall Munro. This Is Not a T-Shirt, Bobby Hundreds. The 4-Hour Workweek, Timothy Ferriss. We Were 8 Years in Power, Ta-Nehisi Coates. But What If We're Wrong, Chuck Klosterman. Goodbye Things, Fumio Sasaki. Magnus Chase, The Hammer of Thor, Rick Riordan. The Art of War, Sun Tzu. The Power of Kindness, Piero Ferrucci. The Picture of Dorian Gray, Oscar Wilde. Sapiens, Yuval Noah Harari. Blink, Malcolm Gladwell. So You Want to Talk About Race, Ijeoma Oluo. A Tale for the Time Being, Ruth Ozeki. My Phone Diary, me. So these prompts and all of the listing prompts have a 150 word limit, and you shouldn't feel pressured to fill that 150 words because For the most part, people aren't going to be reading that many things in a year. I think my case is a little bit different from a normal applicant, I think, because one of my New Year's resolutions last year was to read a book a week for a year. So I had a much wider selection of readings to choose from. And again, you should be as honest as possible when you're answering these prompts because you shouldn't say that a certain book was your favorite if you didn't like it. So if you're reading a physics textbook and you don't like physics, you probably shouldn't put it in that list. Unless you are a person who really likes physics, then go for it and put it in the list. List the titles of the print, electronic publications, and websites you read regularly. 150 words. Humans of New York, the Salem News, National Geographic, the New York Times, Daily Mail, Time, ABS-CBN News, Next Shark, Goodreads, TV Tropes, TED, Webtoon, Shonen Jump, Nizzly for Youth Interactive. So you can see that there was a 150 word limit here, and I definitely didn't use 150 words, which is like totally fine, unless you actually do keep up with 30 different publications, which honestly is very impressive, and congratulations to you. I definitely don't keep up with that many publications, so I just listed all the ones that I did keep up with and enjoy, at least a little bit. List the titles of the films, concerts, shows, exhibits, lectures, and other entertainments that you enjoyed most in the past year. 150 words. Gukje Shijang, Taxi Wunjunsa, Nene Gunom, Your Name, A Silent Voice, Detective Pikachu, Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, Parasite, Laid Back Camp, Dr. Stone, A Place Further Than the Universe, Quixote Nuevo, Huntington Theater, The Salem Witch Museum, Empress of China's Forbidden City, Nature's Nation, American Art and Environment, and Raven's Many Gifts, Native Art of the Northwest Coast, PBD Essex Museum. A Seat at the Table, Edward M. Kennedy Institute for the U.S. Senate, the Peace Corps, John F. Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum, Monumento de Santiago, Museo de las Casas Reales, America's Presidents, National Portrait Gallery, American Center Korea, U.S. Embassy and Consulate in Korea, War Memorial of Korea, Jeonju Hanok Village, Bulguksa Temple, Busoksa Temple, Hahue Folk Village, Jeonju National Museum, Jeonju Museum of History, Confucian Culture Museum, Jeonju Ultimate Music Festival, History of the Entire World, I guess, Bill Wirtz, Words Are Weapons, Naheem Watson. I think this prompt is definitely where you can have a lot of fun and show your personality and your different interests. Also, Naheem, if you're watching this, shout out to Naheem for giving an awesome TED Talk. Now we have the last two essays, which are longer. Please tell us what you value most about Colombia and why. 300 words. What does it mean to be human? It's a question without an easy answer, but one that Colombia incessantly pursues through storytelling. First, its students seek to understand what it meant to be human. The core curriculum examines humanities and the arts as a vehicle for storytelling, a story that spans thousands of years of human experience. Through small class sizes and intense dialogue, students challenge how they think about and view the world as they explore contemporary civilization and the frontiers of science. Together, students become informed, articulate, and proactive agents of change in a global community. But it doesn't stop in the classroom. Around campus and on the streets of New York, there are a wealth of people whose stories I can learn from. Colombia is a microcosm of the surrounding city, unparalleled in its embrace of people from all walks of life. I want to engage in meaningful discussions within this diverse community, topics ranging from politics and philosophy to pizza and Pokémon. Even if our views differ, I appreciate variety in opinions because it allows me to develop my worldviews in ways homogeneous thought cannot. Everyone's story deserves to be heard. Humanity is shaped by how we communicate with one another. The stories we tell define us. To engage meaningfully in the world, we must come to understand one another. To do that, I want to hear as many stories as I can. And with offerings in 57 languages, everything from Arabic to Zulu, Colombia will certainly have me prepared. And as I read these stories, I'll also be writing my own, woven together into the collective tapestry of humankind. As a child, I loved losing myself in stories. Now, I love them even more. They are what make us human. And at Columbia, the story never ends. So this essay definitely took me the longest out of all of the supplemental essays I wrote for any school, because I had this idea of storytelling that I wanted to develop in this essay, and I was trying really hard to do that. So in this essay, you're supposed to talk about what you value most about Colombia and why. And since one of Colombia's biggest selling points is its core curriculum, I thought that that would be a great thing to write about. And so I wrote about it. And so like in my Stanford supplements, I tried to have that theme of communication and storytelling. And yeah, Alright, on to the last essay. For applicants to Columbia College, please tell us what from your current and past experiences, either academic or personal, attracts you specifically to the field or fields of study that you noted in the member questions section. If you are currently undecided, please write about any field or fields in which you have an interest at this time. 300 words. As a budding K-pop enthusiast, I was overjoyed to hear that I'd won a scholarship to study in Jeonju, South Korea through Nizzly Y. I packed my bags, eager to spend my summer in an entirely new country. Kimchi and high-speed internet awaited. Kaja. However, it wasn't the carefree government-sponsored vacation I'd expected. From day one, classes were intense, taught entirely in Korean. Given that nobody in my class had any prior experience in the language, we faced a steep learning curve. 2 weeks later, we could finally hold a basic conversation. Fortunately, my host family spoke English and was willing to help me study late into the night. It was slow, but we were making progress. While I endeavored to improve my language skills, I also learned more about Korean society. I learned about their views on reunification, about how students face such immense pressure regarding the Sunung, about why I saw so many No Japan signs everywhere. I discovered so much about the place that had become my second home, doing my best to keep up with my slowly improving Korean. Even after coming home, I've continued my language studies. In between messaging my host family and other new friends, I've learned more about the country's role in global affairs, from its rising entertainment industry to its flourishing tech sector. Especially as we consider the growing influence of its northern neighbor, South Korea is certainly becoming an increasingly important player in the international community. In the future, I hope to work in the foreign service because I am deeply interested in learning about foreign nations and their interactions with each other. With one of the strongest East Asian studies programs in the world, Columbia can help make this a reality. Hopefully, one day, I can visit Jeonju once more. So for most of the schools I applied as either linguistics or international relations, but I don't think Columbia had that because I applied as East Asian Studies for my first choice. But I think ultimately it didn't matter because the stuff I was writing about was basically the same. I was able to write about my experiences in South Korea with Nizzly Y and relate that to why I wanted to study East Asian Studies. And at the time I wanted to go into the foreign service, but now I don't really know. So yeah, we'll figure that out eventually, hopefully. And those were my Columbia supplemental essays. Basically, you just write in a way that shows who you are as a person, what you like, what you want to study, why you want to go to that school, stuff like that. And that's about it for this video. Next up, I'm gonna do my Brown supplements, and if there are any other supplements from any other schools that people are interested in, I may make videos on those as well. So if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe because it helps the YouTube algorithm do stuff? I don't know. Just leave a like and comment and subscribe. Thanks. And that's all for today, folks, so I'll see you next time. Bye!